your bridge to hope, encouragement, and inspiration. It's Sozo Today with the Bridge FM Morning Crew. Here's Johnny, Jared, and Joel.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Good morning, Washington, Greenville, and New Bern, along with Mandisa, who is our morning intro for this early 7 and early 8 o'clock segment. We also have Amy hanging out with us today as Johnny is out of town. So Amy, man, it is so good to have you sitting across the table from us, hanging out with us this morning. We've had fun already.
And
we're already moving into the last hour, and this is going to be fun again. And I think we have on the line with us Mr. Ray McKeithen. Ray, how you doing this morning?
I am doing well, sir.
Man,
and I hope you are. And you too, Amy. Enjoying the show so far.
Oh, thank you, Ray.
Yeah, we are having a blast, Mr. Ray. It has been so much fun. So, Ray, you are with Nutrien Aurora, and so we had you on. It's been almost a little over a couple months ago, and it was so informative that we had a couple people say, "Hey, you know what? That was awesome. Can we learn a little bit more? You have him on again?" And so we wanted to get you back on just to talk a little bit about Nutrien Aurora. So why don't you tell us, first off, just a little bit about Nutrien Aurora and your company?
Happy to do so. And yes, in the last call, it was great to speak with you and Leanne Lee, and we really appreciate this opportunity. But as you know, and maybe others, is our operation there in Aurora is the largest employer in the region. Mm-hmm. We have 850 employees, and on any given day, hundreds of contractors who are working at the site. So there's a lot of things going on, and it's important that we focus on safety, which is an essential part of what we do. Is part of the fabric of how we operate. And we just need to protect people and the environment, because environmental responsibility is just as important. And with that is community investments, where we donate hundreds of thousands of dollars to the community to worthwhile causes each year. And also workforce development is important to us as well. So that's a general overview of what we do. We're part of a much larger company, and the phosphate division is one of the largest operations within the company. So we're grateful that the company recognizes the importance of what we do here in Beaufort County. And in fact, it's one of the world's largest sites doing what we do.
That's awesome. You know, I tell you what is so, on a personal note, is being in this community and just talking to people and seeing anytime there's a fundraiser, Mr. Ray, anytime there is something going on where the community is a part of or involved in, you guys always are right there saying, what can we do to help? What can we do to help move this forward? And I don't know if it's because of that, but I've talked to people who work over there. I've never heard anybody say anything negative. You guys are just such a great part of this community, and we're so thankful to have you guys over there. Go ahead,
Jared. Thank you for the kind words, and that's very much a part of what we are. I work with amazing people, and we give back where we live and work. Each year we have a United Way campaign to support many of the nonprofit groups in the area. In fact, this year we raised right at $80,000 from employees.
Wow.
And the company matches that dollar for dollar, so that's $160,000. And that accounts for more than half of the entire United Way budget.
Wow.
So that giving comes from all of the folks who work there, as well as our corporate initiative to give back. And, as reference, as we struggle through these COVID-19 times, we've stepped up and donated more than $100,000 for food relief, and donated 10,000 KN95 masks to Vidant Medical to support those frontline heroes. So it's about giving back, and also offering fair wages, actually excellent wages above the state and area average, good benefits, and making sure our employees are fulfilled and enjoying where they work. So throughout this COVID-19, we've managed well at the site, and I know other businesses are struggling, and the economy is tough right now. So we are certainly sensitive to that and want to give back and support when we can.
Yeah, you guys have done an amazing job of following all safety protocols and making sure that during this COVID-19 that you have managed it well, because I know that it is challenging for everybody, and you guys have people coming in and out, and you've just done a really great job. We talked a little bit last time about how you guys have been managing some of those COVID-19 challenges. And before we let you go, Mr. Ray, I just want to, is there anything else that you want folks to know in this area about Nutrien Aurora?
Sure. And good news is that at the site we have a major new project that has just started, and we made the announcement about a couple of months ago, but
awesome.
We're investing $150 million in a new facility.
Wow.
The first major investment for the site in over 10 years.
Wow.
So that's going to mean new jobs. That's going to mean it's going to help the long-term viability of the site, so we can be here and supporting the community for a long time. So we're excited to discuss that, and also to let folks know that our presence in eastern North Carolina extends to Nutrien Ag Solutions, which is retail part of what we do. And we're the world's largest provider of crop inputs and services, and we have locations in Belhaven and Vanceboro. So we have a large presence in Beaufort County and throughout the region.
Man, that is it's incredible to think of how many jobs that's going to be creating. Ray, thank you so much. Thank you for all that Nutrien Aurora does for our community as we live and work here. We can't say thank you enough for everything you guys do. And we look forward to maybe we can catch up again here in a couple months. Okay, Ray?
Well, it's a privilege to do so, and thank you for this opportunity. Thanks for what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ray McKeithen with Nutrien Aurora. Y'all, we're coming up next segment. We're going to be diving into this devotion. It is so good to talk to Ray. Man, Nutrien Aurora does so much for our community. Anytime, and anytime, you don't even realize everything that they do. And anytime you can get somebody on like that who has such a great impact in the community, and just tell them thank you. Like, it was nice to hear everything they're doing, but just for him to hear, like, thank you. Like, thank you for doing all that you do, and for being just such great neighbors. They are great neighbors, Nutrien Aurora.
Right.
So we're talking this morning, devotion-wise, about when your answer comes knocking, or as my grandparents used to say, when your answer comes a knocking. It comes a knocking.
Right. We must be from the same place.
And so our key verse is coming from James chapter 5 and verse 16. It says, the earnest prayer of a righteous person has great power and produces wonderful results. And Amy, too many times we don't get the great power. And we don't, it's impossible for our minds to understand it. And sometimes that throws us off a little bit. And I love the story you told last hour about, your time frame of praying for things and how that was kind of, how the Lord took different times to answer your prayers.
Yeah. Yeah. It was 7 years for the husband.
Yes.
11 years for a baby. All worth the wait, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But only a week for River Song Trio.
And I love that story.
Yeah, so he stepped it on up a bit.
So you were dropping your daughter off at the Montessori preschool.
Montessori preschool.
And you'd only been here about a week?
Or
you'd been praying about a week?
I had been praying for a week, but we really had only been here for a couple of months, and we didn't know a soul. We knew no one when we moved here.
Well, luckily, children love to talk, and children are proud of their parents. And so I'm sure that is how they found out that you sing, right?
Probably. Yeah, she was only 2, but she's been mouthy since the beginning.
Exactly.
So, yeah, there's a good chance.
So they found out that you could sing.
Yeah, and then she informed me, Sarah Gruninger, who was her very first teacher, and she now is the director of the Montessori school here in Washington. And she informed me that she sang too, and that she'd been singing with a friend of hers, Pamela Cox, in their church for probably 10 years. They'd been singing together and praying for a third person. And when she told me that she thought I was the one they had been praying for, no questions asked, I knew that was what God wanted me to do.
I got goosebumps last time getting them again.
But yeah, we've been together for 8 years now, and we've been able to minister to so many different churches and women's conferences and just different events, revivals, and we have seen God work. And it's clear to us now, okay, this is exactly why he put the 3 of us together. You know, it works. And it's one of those things that only he could do. And I was so used to singing with my family all my life, you know, and it was, to be quite honest, a little strange, the thought of singing with someone else. But they are my family. I mean, that's how I feel about them, and I think God did that for me too.
So you prayed for a while for your husband, a little bit longer for your child, and this one seemed to be answered pretty quick. Like, were you like, really already? Did it bring some like, are you sure this is the right time?
I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked because I was used to when I wanted something, I had to pray for it a really long time. So when that happened in a week, I was like, are you sure? Is this me, God? Remember, the one who prays forever for something? But I was shocked. And then I'm thinking, well, you know, God works the way he works, and there's no time limit. He doesn't, I don't think, sees time the way we see time. Of course, we can't. But yeah, it was shocking.
And I love that you had said they had been praying for a long time. And so, you know, the Lord does these really cool things with us, you know, where he'll have one end. It's like, so my wife, you know, I mean, I told her when we got married, I'm like, I've been praying for you for as long as I can remember.
Right.
You know, because my mom would be, and I remember that conversation that I hear my mom and dad say the same thing, like, Elizabeth, we have been praying for you since we had Jared. And so my parents, 25, 26 years of praying, you know, 10 years of praying, you know, when I was old enough to realize that, hey, I better pray for whoever's going to marry me. They're going to be in trouble. You know?
They're going to need extra prayers.
Exactly. You know, but in all that time, and the Lord just kind of brings it together. And he is so powerful. There's no limit to what he can do. So at that point in time, it's just we have to sit back and be like,
right.
I hear you. Thank you. So never quit believing that the Lord is listening and that the Lord is able to do prayer. You know what I'm believing right now?
What's that?
That it's hot outside.
It is.
And so we got Joel here that's going to give us the I don't want to say bad news. How about hot news?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, today partly cloudy and warm with highs in the 90s. Tonight mostly clear with lows in the 70s. And tomorrow sunny skies with highs in the 90s. That's your weather update on 98.3 The Bridge.
Good morning, Washington, Greenville, New Bern. We are having so much fun this morning. I'm having fun with you guys.
It's a blast.
It
I wish
is
there
so
was a
much fun.
camera in here and people could see us jamming out. You know, Johnny.
You know, they might not like that. So
They might get a good kick out of that. They hear Johnny all the time being like, Jared's in here dancing again, you know. So I got a
Yes.
dance partner this morning.
that's right.
We're keeping Joel on his toes over there. So we're talking the devotion today, Amy, when your prayer comes knocking, and it's taken from James chapter 5 verse 16, the key verse. The earnest prayer of a righteous man has great power and produces wonderful results. And the story that kind of goes along with this, if you look back in Acts chapter 12, there's that really cool story where Peter's in jail. And maybe that's not the cool part, but Peter's in jail. And so what happens? The church gathers together and they're like, let's get together and pray for Peter. And so they all get together and they're praying, Lord, deliver. We weren't there, and we don't have the cliff notes, but I would imagine it was something like, Lord, keep him safe, or Lord, you know, break his chains, or Lord, help him to be strong and to keep maybe help him not to grab the guard's sword and cut off the ear. You know, like
Right.
you know, Peter had this big reputation. So, but they were praying for his deliverance, and we know that. And the Lord answers him in this really cool way. The Lord answers him. Peter walks out of the jail, walks down the street to where everybody's gathered and they're all praying, and he knocks on the door. They come to the door, and this girl comes to the door. We're going to call her Rhoda.
Oh, yeah.
She Rhoda. I think that's probably the right way to say it.
I think so.
She enters the door. She sees Peter, and she's like, ah! And slams that door shut
Slams it
again,
in his face.
and they run out, and she tells everybody, hey, Peter's at the door. And they're like, what? Peter can't be at the door. He's in jail. We're praying for him. And I'm reading this and I'm thinking through that. I think, man, how many times has God shown up for me? And I'd be like, well, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. That can't be the answer, because I'm praying that it happens like this.
Exactly.
And I'm reminded of a story. So I was in the car business 20 years, and I took almost a year off of the car business, and I did and I was wholesaling. And so I was working for this company, really great company, good Christian owners. A good friend of mine was the vice president, and he's just a great Christian man. And I had the best time working for this company, but there's the way it worked out in that industry. I was a lot of traveling involved, and I found myself, Amy, where I had a $12,000 balance that I had to meet prior to me making any money. Oh, wow. And in this moment, my wife and I knew this, and we looked at that, and she was like, what are we going to do? Like, we can't cover that. We don't have this to cover, and you can't, if we don't cover this, you're not making any money. So not only can we not pay that, but we can't go on with no money.
Right.
So we just started praying, Lord, is there another job out there? We didn't know. And I remember going upstairs, and if you listen to the morning show, I have a chair upstairs that, when God and I need to have some serious talk, that's where I head. And so I headed upstairs and just blocked everything. And I remember going up there morning after morning after morning, just praying and looking, Lord, what area do you want me to move to? Like, what job do you want me to do? Like, and so Elizabeth and I were in a couples Bible study, and we head over to this Bible study, and we're right in the middle of the Bible study, and my boss calls, and I was like, yeah, hey guys, I got to take this.
Yeah.
So I walk outside, and anytime Johnny calls, if I see my phone ringing, no matter what I'm doing, I'm like, hold on, let me take this call, right? And so in this case, he called, and I went outside, and I'll never forget, I was outside of their apartment, and he goes, hey, how you doing? But just a little small talk, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he goes, hey, so we're gonna bring you back to zero. We're gonna take off that $12,000, and we're just gonna bring you back to zero. And I was like, what?
Oh my goodness.
And he goes, yeah. You're just learning, you're just figuring this stuff out. Like, it's no big deal. And I was like, it is a big deal.
It's huge.
So here I am, Amy. I'm praying. What job, God, are you wanting me to go back? Like, what dealership are you wanting me to go back into? Like, what are you wanting us to do? What is there that I can do? And God on the other end was saying, hey, I got it. I'm going to answer it like this. And when he did, man, I just remember the tears. And I walked inside, and my wife's like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I told her, and it was just a great time of, all of us together in there in that small Bible study. We were just able to praise the Lord. But he came through in that way I wasn't expecting. And I didn't know how he was going to answer that prayer.
He came through in a big way.
Huge way. And so this morning, we just want to encourage y'all to not quit. Like, don't quit asking God. God can do the little things. God can do the big things. And there's so many songs, but when there seems to be no way, God can make a way. And so just stay encouraged this morning. Stay knowing that the Lord we serve,
Come on now.
he is powerful. So don't lose sight of that power.
Your bridge to hope, encouragement, and inspiration. It's Sozo Today with the Bridge FM Morning Crew. Here's Johnny, Jared, and Joel.
That was his design. I'm giving my life to the only son.
Good morning, Washington, Greenville, and New Bern. It is 8:53 on a Tuesday morning, and we are having a ball here at Sozo Today.
Yeah, it is. This is the last segment, Amy.
Yeah.
And, tomorrow we have Amber Tittle. She'll be with us tomorrow.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but we won't be mad if you bring by treats tomorrow too, will we, Joel? No, we have.
We will not be mad at all. Not at all.
I'll see what I can do.
No, just kidding. But thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, so you are a amazing baker, and you don't just do small things; you do big things too. So tell us a little bit about everything that you do there.
Well, it's funny. This started about a year and a half ago, or almost close to 2 years now, where I was just going to do some things for Christmas and sell some things like pies, cakes.
And Southern Sweet.
Southern Sweet. And my niece, who is in labor right now, by the way. Yes. Come on, Taylor.
We've been keeping tabs on that.
I know. She did this back home in Johnston County. And I said, well, what if I put it out there and nobody takes me up on it? Mm-hmm. And she just kind of laughed. She said, put it on Facebook and call me the next day. And in 2 days, I was booked, like completely booked. So then I thought, well, you know what? I just might keep on doing this year round. And so I did. And it's just kind of taken off. And at first, it was just like pound cakes or regular cakes and pies and cheesecakes. And now it's like birthday cakes and wedding cakes. And so pretty much everything. Yes. And I'm having so much fun doing it.
So I'm going to send my daughter over to you. She's going to hang out with you for a little bit and kind of get her feet wet as she's figuring this out. But what's the best way for people to get up with you if they need something for a special occasion? How can they reach out to you and get that happening?
The best way is Facebook, because I do have a Facebook page, Southern Sweet, and messaging me on there is the best way. And actually, just a little heads up, we are remodeling the kitchen. So I won't be able to take any orders probably until the end of August.
Yes.
I have some orders right now that I'm working on.
You have orders. You're just booked up through the end of August.
I'm just booked up, and I think the last couple of weeks of August is when my kitchen will not be functional at all. Oh. So yes, but I'm very excited. But we're so ready to have a couple more ovens and in the room to do what I'd like to do.
And, you have Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas right around the corner, and so they can go ahead. So you book up really. I was reading back through your Facebook stuff. You book up really quick, so they can go ahead and reach out to you now though and say, "Hey, listen, I know that I'm going to want this or this for Thanksgiving or for Christmas," and go ahead and put them on the list.
Absolutely, that's a great idea.
And then we were also talking earlier. You are heading out today to talk with somebody that we had on air yesterday.
Yes.
So you're going to be touring Unity, and that's, man, we just love that school. We love all that Unity Christian Academy does. And we said yesterday, we have so many great Christian schools in our area. We have Unity Christian Academy, we have Christ Covenant, we have Trinity School, Christian School Trinity Christian Academy in Greenville. And it's just so many great choices. So you're going to have a fun, full day. And I love what you were saying about your daughter. So we toured it. Oh, it's been a month or two ago when we toured, and I told you my daughter's one question was, what's the dress code? But your daughter has written a book.
She has a booklet of questions.
That's going to be so.
She is prepared. she with pictures, table of contents, and everything.
She's got it all. And so, what's number one on her list of questions?
Well, she did want to know what the playground would look like.
Oh, yes.
And if they would have recess time. Yeah. And she wants to know what kind of classes she will have. I think her question was, what will I be taught?
All very important questions, but none as important as the recess.
Exactly.
What's the playground look like? So, so we've had a great time talking about God answering prayers. And I think if we wanted to leave just one word of encouragement with our listeners this morning about God and answering prayers, what would that be, Amy?
I think actually the little girl we were just talking about, my daughter, reminds me every day of how to never give up praying for the desire God puts in your heart. I knew God wanted me to be a mama, but I didn't realize that it would take that long. But I will tell you this. In all that time of praying and the desire for a child, I have never been closer to God than in that time, because he was all I had and I needed him. And I love that in that prayer time, I never gave up. Wanted to sometimes, but I didn't give up. And he might not have answered it when I thought he should, but every time I look at my daughter now, I realize he answered it right on time.
Absolutely. So big or small, be encouraged today and know that our God is powerful enough to handle it all. Amy, we like to say, don't just have a so-so day, have a Sozo day.
Okay.
We will see y'all tomorrow. Amber Tittle. Until then, have a great Tuesday.